Hi, my name is Nicholas Vazquez, and I am 23 years old, and I live in Miami, Florida, and I study theater at Miami-Dade College, and I don't expect to live past 40. I don't expect to live past the age of 40. And so I am in rebellion against the US government for its criminal inaction on the climate and ecological crises. And in response to our government's neglect and betrayal to my generation and the next 10,000 generations, I am going to be marching from Miami to the capital of Florida in Tallahassee on an 800-mile climate pilgrimage to demand our government take immediate, drastic action on the climate emergency we now face. So the reality is, we are beyond fucked. And you and me and our children are going to starve to death. Carbon emissions have risen by 60% since 1990, and since pre-industrial times, the average global temperature has increased by 1.3 degrees. Scientists have warned that if the planet reaches 2 degrees of warming, then we will be heading towards a climate hell of biblical proportions. But what they don't really tell you is that 2 degrees centigrade of warming is already locked in and can no longer be avoided. Time is up. I was born and raised in Miami. This is my home. And it's also considered to be the front lines of the climate crisis in the global north. And in just a few decades, my city and the rest of South Florida will be underwater. It will be nothing but a few specks on a map. And that means millions of climate refugees. And where the fuck are they going to go? Nobody fucking knows, and nobody really seems to care. But before sea level rise, rising temperatures will lead to extreme weather events, massive biodiversity loss, crop failures, and water shortages, which will lead to mass starvation, mass death, and ultimately the extinction of the human species and the rest of the natural world. And why is that? Because we are emitting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere and at an extremely insane rate, causing global temperatures to rise and the ice to melt. It's as simple as that. We are suffocating ourselves and our children to death. And so what the climate crisis means is the inability to put food on the table, to provide for your family, to provide security for your kids, the elderly, and it simply means we're fucked. And all that we value, all that we hold sacred will perish. This generation and their children will suffer an agonizing death, and at this point we have no choice. We have no alternative and no damn excuses but to engage in non-violent civil resistance against the government that is bringing us to our deaths. They have been stealing from us, lying to us, and now they're going to kill us all. We have a moral obligation to act in defense of our family, our country, and all life on this planet that we call home. I am stepping up and doing what I believe needs to be done, rebelling against a regime that is planning our collective suicide. I am totally in service to the sanctity of life, and I am putting my body on the line in its defense. And in Extinction Rebellion, we say we are nature defending itself. And I am simply following in the footsteps of those who came before me, those who have sacrificed everything in order to allow us to have the freedoms that we so cherish today. We are not separate from history. We are making history in this very moment. Just about everything that we do is being recorded, and future generations are going to look back and view us as the most morally depraved generation of all time unless we do what is absolutely necessary at this time, and that is to rebel. A society willing to sacrifice their children in the next 10,000 generations for just a little bit more comfort is the most abhorrent evil of all time. XR America, Extinction Rebellion America, has 4 demands of the government, which I support and you can go check out. But realistically, I have just one demand, and that is I demand a future and my right to life. And so I am committed to life, for life, and by life. So I'll see you on the streets and rebel for life. Thank you.